Hello viewers, my name is Alexis, and on this podcast series, I'll be discussing about how science is the sole religion of the future. On this show also, I'll be dissecting a whole lot of entertaining, educative, and also provocative topic in order to shed more light on the conclusion on why science should be adopted as the only form of human comprehension in this new era of human consciousness. Today, I'm going to be talking about the concept of time. A pretty interesting topic, right? Different religions sees time in different ways. Some think of it as forever, while others see it as a cycle. Some believers believe that it is always changing. So we'll take a quick look at how different religions view time. Each religion has its own way of thinking about it, shaped by history and culture. First, let's start looking at Christianity. In Christianity, time is seen as something eternal because they believe God is eternal. When we read their holy book, like the Bible, we find verses that talks about how God is timeless and has always existed. This idea makes us think about time in different ways, where everything, both past, present, and future, all comes together with God. In Islam as well, they believe in an eternal God. Their holy book, the Quran, talks about how God is in control of everything, and that includes time. This makes believers think about time as something beyond human comprehension, but strictly controlled by God. In Hinduism, time is seen as a cycle. Their scripture talks about creation and destruction happening in a continuous loop. This makes us think about time as something that repeats itself, like the changing season. Buddhism teaches about impermanence. They believe that everything in life is always changing. This makes us think about time as something that shapes our lives, always moving forward. And lastly, Judaism, the religion of the Israelites. They see time as part of God's plan. Their holy book, the Hebrew Bible, talks about how everything has its own time and purpose. This makes us think about time as something guided by a higher power. As we learn about these different beliefs, we will see how they all have their own ways of understanding time. Their secret text also gives us a glimpse into how they think about eternal and temporary aspect of life. So now, let's talk about how science fits into all of this. Scientists, as you are aware, have their own theories about time, like relativity and the age of the universe. But we are not here to argue about which is right, either science or religion, but instead, we want to see how they both work together and coexist peacefully, because we believe that understanding both perspectives can help us appreciate the mystery of time even more. So get ready for a journey through time with me. We will explore both scientific and religious belief, trying to uncover the beauty of their differences. This is Alexis Podcast, and I'm your host, Alexis. Get ready for a fascinating conversation that will make you think about time in a whole new different way. Stay with me as we dive deeper into the profound mystery of time from the perspective of science. As we dive deeply into this fascinating world of time, we are not talking about the clock on your wall. We are exploring time as this big, complex thing that is part of everything in our universe. So, let us start by talking about time according to science. Scientists tells us that time isn't just a concept. It is something more real, like space. So they call this combination space-time. One really smart scientist called Albert Einstein came up with this idea. He said time isn't the same for everyone. It changes depending on how fast you are moving or how strong gravity is pulling on you. It is pretty weird, right? Because this challenges what we usually think of as time, like something that is always ticking, the same for everyone. So to help us understand all of this, we are diving deep into the insights from some really smart scientists because they have explained how these ideas helps us see the universe in a new light. Now, imagine this universe itself as a giant clock. We are thinking about how old it is. A whopping 13.8 billion years old with over 200 billion galaxies, which our planet, the Earth, which is also 4.5 billion years, is encased in one out of these numerous galaxies called Milky Way galaxies. We will explore in our next episode, not this episode, how everything began with a big bang and how the stars and galaxies are formed over this period of time. It is like a cosmic dance, with stars being born and dying, leaving their mark on the universe. As we learn about these stars, we will see how they live and how they die in these huge processes that takes millions of years from their very birth to their dramatic end as supernovas. It is like a big show happening across the universe. So get ready to hear some insights according to some expert scientists who have spent their lives trying to understand the universe. They have helped us to see time and how it is woven into everything around us, giving us a glimpse into what it means to actually exist. I understand that this is an exciting stuff, right? So help me, let's dive in. In science, time is considered a dimension in which events occur, and it's often measured in seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, and years. According to the theory of relativity proposed by the famous Albert Einstein, time is not absolute, but it is relative and can be affected by factors like gravity and velocity. Time is part of the fabric of space-time, and its nature is deeply intertwined with the fundamental laws of physics. Seconds and minute countings are invented by two medieval astronomers who got their inspiration from the Babylonian counting system of 60s. The Babylonian, on the other hand, invented the 60 counting system by counting 12 joints of the left hand fingers and 5 right hand fingers, totaling 60. They divided the hours into 60s and minutes into 60s, which give rise to 60 minutes 1 hour and 60 seconds 1 minute, where the corresponding terms denote the time required for the sun apparent motion through the ecliptic to describe 1 minute of an arc and 1 second of an arc respectively. Next, we'll discuss about the concept of day and night. From various religious texts, the day and night was formed due to the proclamation from the Supreme Being, which also emphasizes time as a canvas of eternity. But according to various scientific research, this would have been true if we are living in a geocentric model world, but this has been disproved over time by various researchers and astronomers that the world that we are living in only obeys the heliocentric model. The difference between the geocentric model and heliocentric model world is that for a geocentric model world, the earth is stagnant and every other thing orbits around it. And for an heliocentric world, an heliocentric in the sense that the sun is stable and every other thing orbits around the sun. The day and the night concept came from the constant spinning of the earth along its axis from east to west, and hence the famous word was coined about the sun rising from the east and setting in the west. This spin is done on a 24-hour shift at a speed of 1,680 kilometers per hour at the equator, which gives rise to 12 hours of daytime the side facing the sun, and 12 hours of nighttime, the side away from the sun. The distance between the sun and the earth is approximately 150 million light years away, and the light coming from the sun gets to our eyes in 8 minutes. This day and night spin has carried us around under the sun and stars every day of our life, and yet we do not feel the earth spinning. Why not? Why don't you feel the earth spinning? That is because you and everything else, including the earth, oceans and atmospheres, are spinning along with the earth at the same constant speed. If the earth suddenly speed up or slow down, you would definitely feel it, because it would be like a feeling similar to riding in a fast car and having someone either speed up or slam on the brakes. Think about riding in a car or flying in a plane. If the ride is going smoothly, you can almost convince yourself that you are not moving. A jumbo jet flies at about 500 miles per hour or at about 800 kilometers per hour, or about as half as the earth spins at the equator. But while you are riding in that jet and you close your eyes, you will feel as if you are not moving at all. And when the flight attendants come by and pours coffee into your cup, the coffee does not fly off to the back of the plane. That is because both you, the coffee, are moving at the same rate as the plane. Now, think about what will happen if the plane or the car wasn't moving at a constant speed, but instead it is speeding up and slowing down. Then when the flight attendant pours your coffee, it will definitely spill over. So you understand the concept now. So this concept of the spin of the earth had our ancestors of the old confused about the true nature of the cosmos, because they noticed that the stars, the sun and the moon all appear to be moving above the earth. But however, they couldn't feel the earth move. So they logically interpreted that this observation means that the earth was stationary and the heavens moved above us. The weeks and the months, on the other hand, were also invented by the Babylonians, because they observed that it took the moon 28 days, approximately 1 earth month, to orbit around the earth. And so they divided these days in multiples of 7, and that is 6 days of work and 1 of rest. That amounts to 4 weeks, going by basic mathematics. After 14 days of every month, the moon is always at 180 degrees away from the sun, with the sun, the earth and the moon forming a straight line. The moon is now fully illuminated by the sun, and so we have full moon. This is not a religious concept, but a natural phenomenon. And likewise, the earth count in any planetary body is the amount of time it takes that body to orbit around the stars. Just as I have stated earlier, that the planets in our galaxies orbit around the sun at different times due to gravitational effect or pull of the sun. For the planet close to the sun, it orbits around the sun faster than a planet farther away from the sun. In the case of the earth orbits around the sun in 365 days, and which is 1 earth year. The moon, on the other hand, orbits around the earth 12 times during a period of 365 days, and which give rise to 12 months. This is just the basic concept of time as observed from various scientific research, and how humans have done excellent jobs in properly aligning the earth's time with the cosmos. As we have learned in schools, gravity is the force that pulls objects together, like the earth pulling us towards the center. On the other hand, time is what we experience as events move from one point to another. It is like a continuous line moving forward, guiding everything in the universe. Now, let's dive into this fascinating world of gravity and time through Albert Einstein's special and general theories of relativity. Before Einstein's groundbreaking theories, people thought time was the same everywhere, and the universe only had 3 dimensions: length, breadth, and height. But Einstein shook things up by suggesting that we live in a 4th dimensional world where time isn't constant but relative according to the observer. This 4th dimension, when combined with other 3, creates what we call space-time. But why is time not constant? Have you tried to imagine from what I'm telling you? Let's imagine 2 people, A and B, standing apart on Earth with the star exploding 5 light minutes away from each other. If the time was constant, they both see the explosion at the same time, but in reality, A will see it 5 minutes later than B because light takes time to travel. This shows that time isn't fixed, but the speed of light is. In modern physics, we understand gravity as a curvature in the fabrics of space-time. Picture space-time as a grid with 2 dimensions, one representing the space and the other representing time. Massive objects like planets or stars create curves in these fabrics, guiding the path of other objects. This curvature, dynamic and changing, also affects time. It is like a massive object creating a dent in the fabrics of space-time, causing time to slow down. And this phenomenon is what we call time dilation. Let's study this time dilation using an example. Let's consider 2 twins, A and B, both 25 years old. Twin A becomes an astronaut and goes into space mission near a black hole event horizon. After 3 years in space, he returns to Earth, expecting to celebrate his 29th birthday with Twin B. But to his surprise, Twin B is now 89 years old. Why is this? That is because time passed differently for A due to the intense curvature near the black hole, causing what we call time dilation. Now, how does time slow down in a curved time space? Imagine there is no curvature and times depend only on speed and distance. If person A travels a certain distance at a certain speed, it takes him a specific amount of time. But if person B travels through a curved time space, their journey takes longer due to the added distance caused by the curvature. Even though both travel at the same speed, their relative time difference due to what? Time dilation. In essence, time dilation occurs because of the curvature of space-time, which alters the flow of time depending on the gravitational mass of the object. It is a fascinating concept to show how gravity and time are deeply intertwined in the fabrics of the universe. As we conclude today's journey through the intricacies of time, we are left marveling at the profound ways it shapes our existence, from the relentless ticking of seconds to the vast expanses of the cosmos time dilation. We have barely scratched the surface of this enigmatic force, but fear not, dear listener, for our exploration of the universe has just begun. Join us next time as we dive deeper into the mysteries of space-time and quantum fluctuation, and also the very fabrics of reality itself. Until then, remember this: every second counts in our quest for understanding. Stay curious and keep exploring. If you like this episode, please like, share, and subscribe, and also turn on notifications so you can get weekly and monthly updates of the next videos.